How much money should I spend on social media marketing? How will new platforms affect my marketing strategy? These were just some of the questions answered when Google, Gartner, and the NPA all got together to speak about digital marketing and where the industry is headed. Hosted by the Australian Information Industry Association, the panel spoke about the influence of social media, the shift to mobile, and the growing importance of location-based services.
So the number one thing in terms of going to digital media is to look at what can be measured. It's clearly the most obvious advantage of all digital media is what can be measured. And I would encourage marketers to really think clearly around, am I doing this because I think it's cool or everyone else is doing it? Or am I doing this because I can absolutely measure an outcome?
Measure the impact of your use of social media or social networking marketing, then think not about your expenditure and the return on your expenditure, which you've got to do anyhow. Think about the customer and think about the customer's expenditure of their effort, their time. This comes back to your point, Tony, about that customer has gone to the trouble of engaging with a social network or even just a simple thing like doing a Google query.
The other thing I would say is that there are some tremendous reporting tools out there, and going back to what Tony says, that Google Analytics we all know, Facebook Insight we all kind of should be aware of, but they're actually they're actually purchasable applications. They do certain different things in different ways, and it's really worthwhile, going to Tony's point, to actually go and see what all the reporting tools in the marketplace are out there, rather than just go, right, let's all do Google Analytics, because everybody just says Google Analytics, but it's not the only thing out there.
You look at the marketing communications expenditure of IT companies globally, and that includes people here in this room. About 4% of it today is on social media. So either they haven't got the message, or they're still thinking about it, still doing what Mark said they need to be doing, talking to their customers and finding out what they really want before they dip their toe in the water.
In terms of digital media, we're seeing around about 20 to 25% of most companies now spending on digital media. What we're also seeing is these are the progressive businesses. If you see, there are many companies in this room that are Google customers that spend a significant portion of their own budgets online, even in just purely B2B business. And that's because it's getting results. An interesting stat for you is that we see that on desktop at Google, it's around about 30% of searches are geo-focused. So in other words, this is a search based on where I am. What we're seeing on mobile is that it's around about 60% of searches are based on location. And so the way you market based on mobile compared to desktop, regardless of whether it's search in Google or anything else, there's a real opportunity to think about proximity and then think about that type of relevance in the device and how you market. And certainly in early stages of mobile, that's really the common theme. It's that, where am I now? So people doing a search on a consumer electronics Konica Minolta camera when they're sitting in Harvey Norman, and that's where we're seeing them do it. So your marketing approach to that individual from the mobile needs to be much different than the marketing approach that you might use when you're doing banner ads on research sites for cameras and so on. I don't think it's a really far-fetched idea that mobile is a big deal, and that we forecast at Google that search on mobile will overtake search on desktop by 2013. Right? So you imagine how many searches we're doing. There's 4 billion searches a day on Google that will go past mobile by 2013. So, there it said, reality is now readiness, right? Don't miss the boat again by saying, do we need to be ready? Building a mobile site's even easier than building a standard HTML website.
There are lots of people who self-identify very happily as being in the market for something. And when they are very happy to put up their hands and say, give me information, sell to me, please.
So I think the point of people being able to opt out is really important, and I think we should, from a Google standpoint, we endorse that. Really, we want people to be able to move away from it. It's not about push, it's about engagement. It's about giving people what they want when they want it. So, if we're walking down the street, it's, lunchtime, I don't know, it's 2 a.m. and we, the phone's been tracking where we've gone and says you've had a few drinks, you need a souvlaki. Here you are, or whatever. But I think they're going to be, you can tell from Melbourne, right? I think they're going to be examples like that are really cool, that actually make people laugh, that make people think, and make people say, hey, this is really cool, and I'm okay with it sort of tracking me. I'm sitting down with a couple of old friends from school, and where I invite them over to watch the footy grand final, and I'm using my IPTV, right? The brand new IPTV. And IPTV is all connected to the internet, and all my cookies and browsing history. It's all, So the beautiful thing about IPTV will be that we'll get ads served to us that are relevant, right? So I won't get nappy commercials, and I'll be getting commercials about, well, this is the problem. Will I be getting commercials about impotence, hair loss, and weight? And that's not necessarily.
I can see why you didn't invite us three.
Yeah, I've already made one joke on it. But so clearly, right, that's an unacceptable use of people's browsing history. So I think there's going to be a natural feedback piece where you can't afford to upset people, and you need to make sure that you're very smart with the way that you use it. So it comes back to that: is this relevant? But is it relevant in a way that you want?
Nick Evershed reporting for the NPA.